Hi guys, Aka here. So, the 8th year anniversary is still on, and we are back with another general comparison video. This time, we're looking at the latest ground general to hit Evony, Narcissus, the gladiator that is taking the Colosseum of Evony by storm. Now, before we continue, let's just say that I'm not going to do any of the "are you not entertained" bits, okay? I will spare you guys my mediocre acting voice. But we're going to take a look at Narcissus to see what he can do. And in addition, we're going to have a look at Lucilla as well. She's the other ground general that was released in this 8th year anniversary. So Narcissus will be the main focus, and we'll chime in a bit on Lucilla as well. Now, I'm sure some of you guys would be interested in getting Narcissus, and I'm sure that after watching this comparison, you might be a bit more inclined to get Narcissus. If that's the case, and you're planning on coining to get him, and you're a player in any of these countries, consider using the Amazon App Store. It'll be able to save you a bit on your packs, making it kind of easier for you to get Narcissus. So, the links you need are in the description of the video. QR code is on the screen. Alright, so let's jump in and see what Narcissus can do. So, we have Narcissus here, and before we start looking at his skills and all that kind of stuff, I don't know, I won't call it weird, but there's something kind of strange about his base stats, okay? So if we look right here, we have his base stats, and his attack is really good. It's the highest in the game, okay? His leadership is really good. His defense is really good as well. They are very high compared to the other generals. However, take a look at his politics. His politics is really low, which is weird. And I looked at other ground generals, and for all the ground generals I looked at, I think it's safe for me to say that Narcissus has the lowest politics in the game. Again, kind of strange. Now, politics is not a stat that is particularly important for PvP. In fact, a lot of people just completely ignore it. However, it does have a somewhat of an important function. For anyone that doesn't remember, politics is the stat that affects your troop death to wounded ratio. So if you're attacking with Narcissus in a non-battlefield situation and you splat, you will end up having more dead troops than usual because his politics is really low. So yeah, maybe not a very important thing to note, but yeah, it's a kind of weird quirk that he has, okay? Anyway, enough about that. Let's look at his main skill. Now, for his main skill, he gets attack 50%, defense 40%, and HP 50%. And he is a when leading the army to attack general. All right, now if we move on and look at the specialties. Once we go through all his specialties and we put them together, Narcissus comes out with 60% attack, 50% defense, and 50% HP. All right, now if we go to his ascension and we put all of the stats in his ascension together, Narcissus comes out with 70% attack, 30% defense, and 30% HP. Now, when we put all of those stats together, Narcissus comes out with a total of 180% attack, 120% defense, and 130% HP. Okay? Those are very good stats. Okay? Those are incredible stats. And if you want to see just how incredible those stats are, here we have Narcissus against some of the other top ground generals that we have in the game. And as you can see, without question, Narcissus has the highest attack in the game. On defense, he's not quite the highest, but he's a very close second. Same thing with HP. Not quite the highest, but a good close second. So yeah, against the competition, Narcissus is an excellent general. But it doesn't stop there, okay? Because there's a small thing called march size that we need to look at when we are comparing these generals. So here we have the march sizes of all the generals that we are looking at. And as you can see, Narcissus has the highest march size out of all of them. So he's really good. But one thing to keep in mind though, okay, is that the majority of the march size that Narcissus gets is in his ascension. Okay, so you can see the third ascension here, 10% march size, and you can see the last ascension, 8% march size. So that's something that you have to factor in if you're considering using Narcissus. You only be able to get the max of his potential if you can get him to full ascension. All right, now that we've compared Narcissus to some of the other generals that we have, I think this is a good point to bring in Lucilla. She's the other ground general that was released in the game, and here are her stats. And as you can see, they're pretty decent stats. Now, if we compare her stats to Narcissus, they are not far off. Okay, Narcissus is a bit better, but Lucilla is pulling up close behind him. Now, if we compare them to a couple of the other generals that we had, you can see that Lucilla is doing very good. So, if Narcissus is the best ground general that we have in the game right now, Lucilla can make a very good argument for being the second best. And as you know, the way it goes in these kind of events, the two of them will probably be pairing well together. So yeah, that'll be a very decent combination, buffs-wise. All right, now let's look at Narcissus again. And this time we want to take a look at his covenant. So we have his covenant here. Now, as you probably already know, Narcissus is available in the general summoning, so you can get him with the tokens. However, Lucilla is available in this special event section, meaning that Narcissus will be the easier general to get, and he would likely be the main general, while Lucilla would be the assistant, if you're lucky enough to get her, or if you spend enough to get her. Now, with that being said, as you can see, these are the generals that Narcissus needs for his covenant, and Lucilla is one of them. So if you can't get your hands on Lucilla, then completing the covenant for Narcissus will be extremely difficult. So that's something to keep in mind. All right, now we put that aside for now, and we look at his stats, okay? And generally speaking, his covenant stats are actually pretty good. But I want to bring your attention to this one right here, okay? This covenant stat, ground troop attack, 5%. And for those of you with keen eyes, which I'm sure is pretty much all of you, you'll notice that this is a gold stat. Meaning that if you do this covenant, this ground attack 5% will be added to your keep irrespective of the situation. So even if you don't plan on using Narcissus full time, this might be a good reason for you to get him and do his covenant. Aside from that, yeah, the rest of his covenant is, is pretty okay. So now we want to go and take a look at his compatibility. And the first thing that we want to look at is his compatibility with skill books. Now, if we come in here and we check the skill books, so we check ground attack, he can take the ground attack book. That's good. We check for ground defense. Ground defense, he can take it. Good. We check for ground HP. Ground HP, he can take it, and that's good. And just for good measure, we check for march size. March size, he can take, that's okay. So, Narcissus is compatible with all the ground skill books that we have in the game. All right, that's cool. Now, we want to come over here and check his compatibility with other generals. So, we have Narcissus here. And I just want to run through a few of the ground generals that I was able to check in with. Now, first off, Narcissus is compatible with Elise. Okay, that's good. Elise is a well-loved ground general in the game, and A lot of people have her. So yeah, Narcissus is compatible with Elise. Now moving on, Narcissus is also compatible with Guan Yu. Don't ask me why I checked for Guan Yu. I had him in my list and I decided to check with him. So yeah, any Guan Yu fans out there, Narcissus is compatible with him. All right, so the next general that we want to look at, Alessandra. Unfortunately, Narcissus and Alessandra don't go, which is a bummer. Alessandra has been a very good ground assistant in the game. And yeah, it kind of sucks that she's not compatible with Narcissus. Anyway, that's cool. Moving on, Narcissus is compatible with Freak. Okay, that's good. So if you have Narcissus and you're looking for a general to pair him with and you don't have any other good options, just frig it, okay? Just frig it. All right, so the next general that we want to check, Ludwig, okay? Narcissus is compatible with Ludwig. That's cool. Now, moving on, Narcissus is also compatible with Lucian, okay, which is good. Very strong combination. He's also compatible with Miltiades, okay? That's good. Another good combination there as well. And he's also compatible with Totila, okay? Very good combination as well. And finally, Narcissus is compatible with Forkbeard, which is cool. Now, if there are any other prominent combinations for ground generals that you know of, please feel free to share them in the comments. Okay, so now that we've taken a look at Narcissus, using him as the main general, let's take a look at him as an assistant. So here we have the stats for the ground generals as assistants. And as we can see Narcissus here, he's looking pretty good, okay? From the stats alone, he will be doing very well as an assistant. The important thing to note, however, is that because most of his march size is in his ascension, and of course ascension is not available when you use them as assistants, he's, compared to other generals, somewhat low on the march size. The only march size that he gets is from his covenant, 5%, okay? And if you add that with what he gets from his ascension, Narcissus, using him as the main general, will have a total of 23% march size, which is crazy. However, if you're going to use him as an assistant, then you're only going to get 5% of that march size. All right. In addition to that, he also has enemy HP debuff of 10%. Which would be available if you're using him as an assistant. So maybe that's a bit of a plus. However, I'd like to bring in Lucilla again at this point. Because if we look at Lucilla, and knowing that she's meant to be the assistant in this combination, we look at her stats. Now, we can see that her stats are probably not the highest in the game, but her stats as an assistant are very good. But this is where she kills it. Because Lucilla, of all the generals, has the highest march size as an assistant. Okay? She gets 6% from her specialty and 10% from her covenant. In fact, Lucilla is one of the few generals in the game that her march size is fully accessible, whether you use her as the main general or you use her as the assistant. So, because of that significant march size that she has, I think it would be safe to say that Lucilla would be the strongest ground assistant in the game. And to top it off, her skill is when leading the army. So yeah, very versatile, and she, in my opinion, is the best ground assistant in the game. Now, with all that said and done, I'm going to keep the verdict on Narcissus kind of short. He's the best in the game. Okay? He is the best ground general in the game. That's all you need to know. You want the best, he's the best. Okay? His compatibility with other generals looks very good. So for the most part, you will not have a problem pairing Narcissus with most of the grand generals of your choice. The only question is, are you prepared to spend enough to get him? Now, remember earlier on we talked about his covenant and how you can get the ground attack buff 5%, which will be a universal buff that applies throughout your keep. So, to be honest, if you can get at least one copy of Narcissus and do his covenant up to that point, that's an easy 5% ground attack buff that you can get. But Narcissus is not the only general that you can get this kind of buffs from their covenants. In fact, there are quite a few generals that have very decent buffs that you can easily get from their covenants, even if you don't plan on using the generals full time. And if you check out this video here, I've made a list of the top generals with these kind of easy covenant buffs for you to get. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check it out. That's it for me, guys. Thank you very much. Aka signing out.